Total was 30,000. Too bad. Thank you. 2 Berkeys.
More than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China, but those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that.
Moral of the story, if majority of y'all really had like thousands of dollars in y'all bank account, y'all be buying designer with no hesitation. So quit coming on this app trying to clown people because they got designer and you don't.
We all had that one kid in school that used to wear the backwards Jordan sign, or Michael Jordan, instead of him looking like he about to dunk, he looked like he about to go for an underhand layup or something like that. We all had that kid in high school. We all knew that he was obviously wearing the fake version of whatever sneaker that was. That kid would always get clowned because he was wearing the fake Jordan. So nobody wants to wear anything fake. But nowadays it's a lot harder to know what's fake because the fakes actually look just like the reals. But what makes something real and what makes something fake? A lot of people would say, well, the real would come out of the stores. The fake would probably come from China or something like that, right? If it says made in China, it doesn't say made in Italy, yeah, it's probably fake, right? Or is that the same thing? The things we consider fake is actually the real. And is the real actually the fake? Well, we're about to find out today because of these tariffs that Trump is about to put on China and stuff like that. They said, you know what? We're going to retaliate and we're going to expose all of y'all luxury brands to show y'all how much y'all actually need us. China got some secrets up their sleeve. Check this out.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from us, from our factory in China. See the real world for yourself.
See, now this is going to expose a lot of people.
So now we know why America really didn't want us to see what they was doing over in China. And see how China just exposed America. That designer that you've been spending your money on, $200, $300, $400, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. All of your hard-earned money basically been going to knockoffs. If that's what y'all want to call them. Canal Street specials, if I might say. China is basically saying that your favorite designer gets their bags, their clothes, their shoes made in China, not Italy. So when you thinking you getting the finest of threads, you getting them from China. And now China is saying that they got them for the low, like they been had them, but they just not keeping it secret no more. So what they're saying is that designer that we've been wearing, they've been making, and they make them for cheaper. And we might as well not buy. It's a lot of people that lost their lives over designer. All I can say is this trade war is exposing the real from the fake. And so now we know why.
Y'all, China just exposed it all. So boom, America's out here dropping $200 for t-shirts, $500 for jeans, $800 for a pair of sneakers, $1,000 for sunglasses, $2,000 for jackets, $5,000 for these bags, thinking it's all high quality luxury and stuff. But China just pulled back the curtain and showed the world that most of this stuff is made in the same factories, that you can buy the same clothes like we see in Walmart, Sam's, and Costco that sell for a fraction of the price. That's robbery, y'all. And this is the crazy thing. This is not even new. A lot of people just been blind to it. I know y'all haven't. Y'all been knowing this stuff. But they think just because they got a fancy label that means that it costs more. Trick, in reality, that means that the markup is just better. Now, China basically said, hey, we telling on all the corporations now. Now y'all mad at China. Y'all don't be mad at China. You need to be mad at the corporations that's been taxing that ass, okay? They buying this stuff cheap and selling to you for high. And what are you buying? Status. They pay an athlete, they pay a celebrity to wear it. Monkey see, monkey do. Stop getting tricked by that. So now, y'all want to see someone with a designer? The next time you do that, say, look at that trick over there. They buying a label, markup. You never see Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. You didn't see Steve Jobs. Y'all China just exposed.
Hey man, Shalom, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, that's giving all praise to the Most High. In the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles, a great millstone who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to 144,000. And real quick, all right, you got this whole thing going out, you know, with China and these tariffs and stuff, and now it's being found out, you know, China's snitching. And they're telling you how these corporations and these, you know, brand labels or, you know, brand, you know, these clothing brands and whatnot been robbing you, okay? And when they say Americans, when he said Americans be buying this stuff, $200 shirts and, you know, such and such, well, really that's talking about Jake, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, okay? You Jakes are so simple, so stupid, monkey see, monkey do. And you the ones that's keeping these other countries and these, you know, these Edomite businesses rich. Remember when the whole Balenciaga thing came out, when the whole Gucci thing came out? You know, these people are racist. The owners of them companies are racist as hell, but their main demographic are you so-called Negroes, okay? Predominantly you Negroes, but all the tribes. Jacob go in there and you know, call himself buying some designer because this is the people that are you know, really have no it. All people believe they have no value. So in order to make it seem like they have value, they got to go buy the most expensive shit. And really, the same shit is coming from the same places as the knockoffs. Okay, and I've been saying this for years, man. People go spend $200, $300, $400 on a pair of shoes that you can get for $50. Okay, for $50. All right, and really, it costs less to make than that. All right, let me see if we can get another video. All right, this guy right here, he breaks it down for you.
Hermes boutique. So what will this Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Nuti from Italy. The second is YAHAWAH from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat sealed edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD. And then the cost of human resource. The French artisans is much more expensive than Chinese artisans. To finish one bag, the human resource cost will be 600 USD. The package, now this is not that expensive, it's 10 USD. So now to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,000 400 USD for one Birkin out of factory. But why Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag? That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about the logo, you just want the same quality, same material, you can just buy from us. Because for our bags, we use exactly the same material, same leather, same hardware, same edge oil. The only difference is one, we don't have the logo, so we don't have to pay so much amount of money just for that logo. And second, our human resource is much cheaper. This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD, but even better quality and craftsmanship. It will cost you.
So yeah, you've seen that. All right, you've seen that, man. And you know, all this is coming out, and it shows you how lost our people are. Okay, if there's ever a people lost, you Israelites are sure are them. Okay, let's grab a few precepts. Let's go right here. This is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. It says, "For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are sottish children. They have and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." And this is going to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. You are foolish, sottish. Let's read it in the NLT. My people are foolish. Jake is simple as hell. You know, I remember just growing up, Jake was all about the name brands, and hey, me and my family, we could never afford that shit anyways. But even if I could afford it, even if I did make enough money to afford it, I wouldn't buy that stuff, man. You know, I never spend $1,000 on, a damn accessory. Okay, it's foolishness. That's stupid. And then our people are the most impoverished people on the planet. But they when they get some money, they go buy all this stuff, man. Okay, it says, "And do not know me," says the Lord. "They are stupid children who have no understanding." You got to be absolutely stupid to be buying Birkin bags for $38,000, okay? And you got Jake that comes into some money, okay? These so-called celebrities and stuff, they be buying these bags, and they got, they collecting them. What are you collecting them for, man? Are you going to be able to eat them when all hell breaks loose? You better be able to eat them. You better get used to eating the Birkin bag. You better get used to eating those Gucci jeans, a Gucci shirt, and all that garbage, man. I don't own any of that stuff, okay? And I'm fine with that. All right? It says, "They are clever enough at doing wrong, but they have no idea how to do right." And like the individual, the brother said, hey, you got people that's dying over this stuff. You know, you got Jake that be lining up, outside the stores for half a day, overnight, just for the store to open up so they can get some Jordans or something. And then they be killing each other, over this stuff. It's wicked. But this is why Jake got to be destroyed. 2/3 of our people ain't gonna make it because you ain't in the right state of mind. Okay, if you all thinking about these Birkin bags and stuff, you're not in the right state of mind. It says Isaiah chapter 42 verse 22. "But this is a people robbed and spoiled," and that's robbery. They're robbing you. Okay, that's highway robbery. They just pretty much finessing you. Okay, it says, "They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith for a store." And this is why you see Jake getting taken advantage of, man. They come into some money, and they broke, before you know it, because they want to go out and buy the flashy stuff. You want to appear to be rich. And like he said, you don't see none of these billionaires and millionaires dressing like that. Okay, that's the mind state of a silly, lost Negro. Okay, for you to be doing that's foolish. Okay, and this is why Jake is through. It says let me see. Let me grab this too. It says first Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. "What nation hath not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?" So all these nations are benefiting off our people. And that's why, America is a great consumer country, because it's you Jakes here that's buying all this stuff. You living in the projects, making $200 every 2 weeks or something. And, the moment you get some money or your tax money or whatever, you go buying this garbage. Shows you our people are lost. They are through. Okay? Just completely through. And you can't tell them nothing. They'll sit up there and act like they better than you because they wearing some, overpriced clothing or overpriced shoes that really you got robbed on. You're stupid. That's dumb. Okay, they got an app out there. It's called DHgate. We talk about it. But this app is called DHgate, and all this stuff comes from China. It's the same stuff, but you can go in there and buy it for cheap. And also you can go in there and buy it wholesale. You can buy wholesale off that what's the name, whatever. And if you go buy one of them bags wholesale off that app, you're gonna pay less than 38,000 for probably 100 of them, and you can flip it and sell them for 38,000. And that's what these nations do because they know Jake is stupid. Jake has no sense. They're not, they're not connected to their power, so it's just fair game. Okay, it's just fair game, and this is why Jake is completely impoverished and at the bottom. Okay, there's no people worse off in the world than our people, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. But nobody can, you gotta take credit for it because where you gotta, let me read some more of this. It says, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. Jake gonna, get locked up in these prisons behind this stuff, man. Okay, you got Jake running into these stores, stealing handfuls of Gucci and stuff, not realizing that, when you do the math on that stuff, it's really only worth about maybe $300, $400. Okay, yet they'll charge you, $300 just for a shirt, $400 just for a pair of jeans. It says, they are for a prey, and none saith deliver, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. And this is why these nations, they come to our neighborhoods and they make, merchandise of us because Jake will buy. Okay, well, they say, hurry up and buy, hurry up and buy. It says, who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahawah, he against whom we have sinned? You see, this is why this is happening, because we sinned against our power. It says, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Right, because you don't want to serve Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi and walk according to his ways. He let these nations do you like this. Okay. Verse 25, therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. And our people, bro, they ain't trying to get right. Majority of our people here in America, they're not trying to get right, so they just gonna have to get left, and it is what it is. Okay, we don't feel bad for you, Jakes, because hey, it's been coming out. You know what's going on, but Jake is just so caught up in, Scriptures go into this. It says, let me grab this real quick. It says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord Yahweh shall lead thee. Yeah, because you just give your money away. Jake just be giving their money away. Ain't got no money, but you just quick to give it away. It says, verse 47, it says, because thou servest not the Lord Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. And that's what you're doing. When you working that job like that, when you out there selling them drugs and gang banging and this, that, and the third for this, for these products, all you doing is serving your enemy. Okay? You serving them and making their families rich. They sending their kids to private school off of your dollar. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh thy power, so like Yahweh BAHASHAM Yahawashi, shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. And ye shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. And that's what happened. Our people have been destroyed. All right, Jake is completely mentally gone. Okay, and because of that, they're through. They can't get right. They can't It's gonna get a little loud, Salakia. You know, they can't, you know, see past, Buenos dias. They can't see past that, you know, their own bull crap. You know, all for some designer. You know, they want some designer. They want some designer this, designer that. All right, that designer ain't gonna save you, man. Okay, that designer ain't gonna save you, man. Don't matter. You know, and it's the glasses too. They be paying premium dollar for some Cartier glasses. I'm talking about like $20,000 for some Cartier glasses. Bro, that's madness. That's crazy. But that's nigga shit. And this is why the Lord got to get rid of niggas. Nigga shit. Nigga shit. Shalom, coming.
Like, are y'all now gonna go to China and get it for cheap? Because a lot of people would say, oh, nah, I don't just like this bag because of the price. I like it because of the way it looks. But I would argue and say a lot of people spend a lot of money on a bag because the price tag of the bag, it's like it's a status symbol. It says that you can afford that. So to you people that say, oh no, I just really like the bag. Okay, so if that bag was $10, the same exact Louis Vuitton bag, it was $10, you had an opportunity to buy it for $10 instead of $10,000, would you still get it? Everybody knowing that you actually spent $10 for it. I doubt it. Why? Because a lot of people are paying for the price. Isn't that crazy? You're paying for the price just to show people I can afford this. Because if not, why not get it straight from the manufacturer, right? But I ain't gonna lie, I see why they were trying to get rid of TikTok. They knew we was gonna find out the truth to too many things. And pay attention to how China dropped these videos before the deadline to delete TikTok. China really hit us with a Uno reverse card. We ain't even see it coming. Luxury clothing is one of the biggest running scams. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't understand why it became cool to get scammed, all because you got some really good branding.
You know the type of motherfuckers I really hate? I hate the motherfuckers that try to clown people that buy designer because they can't afford designer. Everybody main go-to is, you spend that much on shoes and clothes, you're so dumb, or I could get one-to-one reps and all this other shit. People only buying designer because they insecure. Fam, I buy designer because I like it and I got the money to buy it. And I'm sure that goes for everybody else. And even then, if it's some people that could barely afford it, so what? It's their money. I don't be talking shit to nobody when they spend all their money on Plan Bs. I don't talk shit to nobody when they spend all their money on weed and cigarettes. I can say that's dumb shit to buy. I can talk about how dudes spend all their money on bitches that don't even fucking like them. But I can say that's some dumb shit to buy. Moral of the story, if majority of y'all really had like thousands of dollars in y'all bank account, y'all be buying designer with no hesitation. So quit coming on this app trying to clown people because they got designer and you don't.
Well, as somebody that has more than enough money to buy a whole bunch of designer stuff, honestly, I would rather people that are looking at me don't assume I have money than them look at me and be like, wait a minute, he's wearing his money. Let me go take that money off of him and go sell it so I can make some money. I just rather not be a target. Instead, with the money, I'd rather make my money make money. But so many people, it's the poverty mindset. So many people, once they get a little bit of money, they want to show everybody, hey man, I got a little bit of money. Look at me. Whole time their pockets is empty, but they got a Louis Vuitton bag. You got a $5,000 bag with nothing in it. Now we're finding out that that bag is actually $5 and you have nothing in it, but you spent $5,000 on the bag.
Luxury brands, they have two types of clothing. They have the clothing that they make for the rich people and they have the clothing made for the poor people. It's the poor people that make the brand famous because they're walking around the mall with the logo of the brand, but it's the rich people who actually use that brand for the quality of the brand and not for showing that I'm wearing this brand. People who show off extra, who always showing cars and probably they're renting the cars, I don't know, but these people have insecurity because they don't have money. They want to show that they do have money.
I ain't gonna hold you. If you out here wearing like a Gucci shirt and then you got Gucci pants, you got the Gucci belt with the Gucci hat, in my eyes, you're doing way too much. By all means, you could do whatever you want to do, dress the way you want to dress. But people that dress like this, to me, in my eyes, I feel like you're really trying to like fill a void. Because if you look good, why does your clothes have to yell so loudly? Like somebody with a fit body. I said this in my other video when we talked about this. They can wear a simple little black tee, a white tee, have subtle money on them, like a nice watch, a little valid chain or something like that. But you ain't gotta be so loud. Gucci, Louis V, I got it on me. Like that always just been so corny to me. The only thing you really are for that brand is good marketing. And it's so funny because the man even said it. He said, yo, there's two different collections when it comes to luxury. We sell this to the broke people that want to look like they got money, and we sell this to the people that got money for some quality. People that don't have money, they're just really good marketing. But you know what's so crazy? Because the people that don't really have money, but they're willing to buy that, they wind up with no money left over because they want to show for it so much. Just to find out that that's actually 50-30.
Your made in Italy Gucci 80% come from Chinese factory. They just add the logo in Europe to make you pay the price of 10 times. Close your eyes. If your hammer says made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's no quality issue. It's luxury brand washing. Fun fact, the hand stitching your product, 42% are Chinese artisans. We don't do cheap, we do underrated luxury. Why pay 2,000 Europe for Parisian air? Same leather, same craft, just without the European fairy tale facts. Be a luxury rebel, you can shop on Chinese platforms such as Taobao, 1688, Tianmao, Jingdong. You can even go directly to Guangzhou, Yiwu, Quanzhou, Wenzhou to buy. Don't know how to buy, how to pay, or arrange delivery? Just PM me. GoNext to provide free shopping guidance and shipping services for you.
Y'all go follow her right there. Y'all see her page right there. Y'all go follow her. Y'all go check out her other videos.
There's nothing a Chinese factory can't make. Brooks Brothers, a premium shirt brand from the States, actually produce most of their products all in China. One of their largest suppliers is actually based in Guangdong in China. Interesting, the scale of the factories in this region specifically, they're not massive, but all of them are willing to invest heavily in research and development. For example, the world's first long-stable cotton gene sequencing product was completed here. Factories from this region are beloved by those world top brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Lacoste, Hugo Boss. Recent years, with the rise of emerging manufacturing countries like Vietnam and India, many might think that Guangdong's shirt industry might get impacted. But that's not the case, at least for now, because Guangdong's niche market is only for those middle to high-end markets like Europe and America. With its technological advantages, it will remain as a significant barrier. Alright guys, that's enough for today. If you're interested in more about manufacturer factories behind those big brands, leave your message in the comment section and I will talk in my next videos. And don't forget to follow Luna, your best sourcing partner.
Stop using Alibaba. Here are better website for sourcing factories from China for specific categories. For electronics components, visit OFFCN.com. For car accessories, check cheapayren.com. For industrial material, GoBangBang.com. For clothing, check WeBIC.com. For more sourcing tips, follow UP, your best business partner from China.
Listen, man, if you looking to create your own company and you trying to get that same look as Louis V or the same looks as Gucci, I hope y'all go check out these websites because they really just drop some gems on y'all. I'm not gonna hold you, like, as somebody that has tried to have a clothing line in the past and stuff, and I'll probably bring it back. Finding the right vendors, especially the vendors that these most popular brands are using because of their quality, is very hard. The fact that China is just exposing our top brands vendors, this is unheard of territory. Like, this is pulling the curtain back. I ain't gonna lie, like, they really being messy. Like, they like, all right, y'all want to tax us? Let me expose the truth to y'all people. All right, yo, what they're saying, I don't know if y'all catching it. All right, what they're saying is that they make it in China, and then what happens in the US, they buy it from China, get it sent to Italy or to Europe or whatever, and they do a little finishing touches. Now, I mean, maybe changing a little bit of the stitching, and then they get it sent to America, and instead of saying made in China, because the bulk of it was made in China, they said it was made in Italy, so you believe you got some exclusive stuff. And now you're looking at your friend that ordered it off of DH Gate, off the cheap website, that actually got it from China, the real manufacturer. You're telling him, oh no, you got the fake one on. No, you got played out your money. Now, I mean, you got finessed. He was smart. He went to the source. And that's why I asked the question in the video I did about Summer Walker admitting that she wears fake stuff. How do y'all know what's the real stuff and what's the fake stuff? And if it is a little slight change in the stitching, is that worth $5,000 instead of $50, which is what it's actually cost?
With the shoes and all the clothes, it's
$38,971.85. Thank you.
Said trying to grab all the bags. Right.
Thank you.
Total was 30,000. 2 bags. Thank you. 2 Berkeys.
What did you get? Can we check them out?
Do it. Unboxing.
Wow, how much are those?
Oh no.
Where are you gonna wear them?
His wedding.
Oh no way. All designer, what did you get?
A bag.
Can we check it out?
Where are you gonna tag me?
I
have followers on TikTok.
We'll see.
I got the yellow.
Oh, it's yellow. How much is that?
18.
Where are you gonna wear that to?
For travel.
Where are you traveling to?
I'm gonna be traveling to different countries.
How much was that?
16.
Where are you gonna wear that to?
Good question. Every day.
Excuse me? I love designer. What did you get? Yeah, what did you get? Oh, what is that? How much is that?
We are watching people get robbed in plain sight, but I ain't mad at it, y'all. As somebody that loves marketing, I get it. Now, I mean, this genius marketing and genius branding, because people are really brainwashed. If somebody walks in front of them and say, hey man, this is $50, it'd be the same thing. They're gonna be like, no, that can't be real. I don't care where you say you got it from. But they'll walk into the store and be like, hey man, this is the real thing, $5,000. Let me take it. Even though you could have got 1,000 of those for $50. It's genius marketing, y'all. It's genius branding, genius marketing. If I sell it to you, you'll buy it. If you get it from the actual person I bought it from, you ain't gonna buy it. They done really got into our heads, and it's so funny to see Future walk out the store after spending $30,000 on 2 bags that probably actually cost less than $100, and he thinks that he's actually doing something. He walked away, just got robbed by the store. But it's a status symbol to say, 2 Birkins, $30,000. So now you have people that don't have money. They want to live a life like Future. They see Future and they like, I gotta live like that. Whole time, Future just got scammed out his money. China has told it all. They're exposing everybody.
Which Chinese factory supply for Louis Vuitton? Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it. 50% of Louis Vuitton bags are from these 2 places. Number 1, Guangdong City. Number 2, Dongguan City. 90% of Louis Vuitton silk is from Wanshili in Hamdong City. I have a friend who is a manager in the factories of the Louis Vuitton, and he told me the similar quality only needs $50. That's crazy, right? Follow Daniel, help you find the best suppliers.
They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and taught you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulated the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave property made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back. I think you need a revolution.
So next time you go out and you want to spend an extra $1,000 to go impress some people that really don't care about you, I want you to remember that what you're buying is possibly only $10, and you could go get it from any one of these sites that they just gave you, or you could go on DHgate and find a really good quality replica of whatever you think you're about to buy, because they're all coming from the same bag. It's just some of them are getting brought out that bag and some of them are getting put back in the bag. They're gonna sell you the one that comes out of the bag for 1,000 times the amount that the other ones that are left in that bag are going to be sold to the other people on DHgate. I want you guys to remember that, all right? Think smarter, stop trying to impress people, do something better with your money. But if you do want to pull off that look, if you just so happen to really like this style, which I'll argue, but I understand status symbols sometimes you got to fake it to make it to get in certain doors, so I get it. So if you really want to do it, if you really want to pull it off, be smart with your money. Don't go broke trying to look rich, all right? Actually get rich. And if you want to pull off the look, I don't mind you looking at me and saying, hey man, his wallet is fake. Whole time my wallet is heavy. Think about that. Hey man, it's been your boy Ty Boogie. Until next time, man, I'm out of here. Peace.